So we had the two sisters fighting up there by the looks of it. I think either that was Riley, or one of them, it could have been Micky and Covie. I'm not too sure who was fighting. Come, Babs, this way. There's Teri. We've got them all out today. And this one, well, because earlier on today, it's pouring down with rain. That's why you see the path looks a bit different. Because it's been waterlogged. There's been tons of water coming down. So it does feel moist compared to normal. But there you go. Sometimes some of these paths feel a bit too dry. We won't be too dry today. Problem is obviously you've got to check for ticks later because, you know, moist weather, wet weather, the grass is going to be covered in ticks. So that's something you've got to put up with. Right. Wait, you're not. Hang up. So anyway, yes. I did a video earlier about the gymnast who had stepped down to deal with, stepped down from the events in this Olympics to deal with her mental health. And I'll tell you, some of the most amazing stuff has come out from this. Like people saying how brave she is. Excuse me, she didn't go behind lines to rescue a load of soldiers, a load of innocent children from, you know, jihadists that were going to cut the heads off these kids. She didn't do that. She didn't risk her life, did she? She's not brave at all. Sensible, but not brave. Huge difference. She's sensible, yes. Wise, yeah. You can certainly say there's a bit of wisdom in it. There's certainly this Olympics, there's no crowd, so therefore it's a lot harder. Especially because look, a gymnast, any sort of athlete who is used to reaching the top, part of the thing about reaching the top is that you've got to put in so much incredible hard work beforehand that not getting gold makes all of what you've done a load of crap, basically. But getting gold makes it all worth it, especially with the adulation of the crowd. The crowd cheering your name. People standing up. You know, when you've done a perfect floor routine, people standing up. That's like, wow. That's worth it. There's no one there. Yeah, there's no fans in this one because Japan have done such a terrible job of dealing with COVID in their country. They've done an awful job with it. Yeah, we're at a stage where a lot of countries are opening up. Japan is tight shut because they've done such a terrible job of this. This Olympics has already been delayed. You know, Japan had every chance to get to grips with this situation and get everything sorted out, but nope. Again, the problem is the Olympics is quite often, it's given to countries who are completely unprepared for it and have no idea what they're doing, and quite often it's a backhander. You know, the countries give a backhander to the people running the Olympics, and that's how they get the Olympics. You know, same as the World Cup and all stuff like that. Yeah, so it's like, oh, really? All that stuff. But I say, I mean, look, I'm fully in support of the fact that people are dealing with their stuff, but look at it from this way. As I said in that video earlier, all these top athletes and top football players, top this, top that, top the other, you know, they've got teams of psychiatrists, psychotherapists, and all this sort of stuff, right? The best mental health people are available because it's a national team that she's involved in. So if you're involved in the England football team, you have the best that's available. Why? Because it's a national team. You have the best that's available in your country, basically. You know, they make sure all the best that's available because they want you to perform at your highest level. So therefore, anything that could get in the way of that, just deal with it. So the point of it is, why hasn't she dealt with that beforehand? She's got this huge team of people around her. Why suddenly, when it comes to the Olympics, is she, oh, sometimes it feels like the world is on my shoulders. Hasn't it felt like that the whole way through? Why now are you putting out? Are you putting out in order to, have you been advised to do this? So that people say, oh, poor little lady, oh, what a horrible situation you've been going through. Because of course, if she had stopped after the Olympics, to take some time, no one would be talking about it, would they? So is it possible that she's been advised to stop now? So that she would be the conversation, and the conversation would be pushed into this area of mental health? I'm fully in support of governments all around the world doing more to help people with mental health, because certainly in the UK, the mental health industry closed, was shut down by Thatcher. Yeah, there were mental health hospitals that were specifically designed for mental health. They were shut. And there were mental health patients who were put back into the community and basically forgotten about. Well, now there's a whole new raft of patients. But there's an awful lot of people that are self-diagnosing that because they've had bouts of depression, that they must suffer from depression. No, not necessarily. Depression is something completely different. Really different. It's not about being pissed off. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suffer from stress a lot. Yeah, high levels of, incredibly low levels of patience and high levels of irritation. Some degree of depression, but I think depression is, for me, is probably linked more to situational depression. So it's not the case, I would never claim that I had depression, because it's a situational situation. As your situation changes and improves, that depression will change and improve, because it's a situational depression. And a lot of people have what's called a situational depression. Certainly with COVID. COVID has created that. A situational depression for people. Now let's not confuse that with depression, because there's a heck of a difference between the two. You know, situational depression can lead to people thinking about committing suicide. Full-blown depression does. Pretty much in every case. Leads to people, you know, thinking about killing themselves, ending their lives. Yeah, because they have no hope. I've said before, I mean, it was one of the most awful, but crazy things that I've seen. Where they did that YouTube thing about the people that jumped off the San Francisco bridge. And there was that gentleman who was like 91. That is just mind-blowing. You know, you're that close to the end of your life anyway. Yeah. To kill yourself in that way, because it's quite often what's going to happen when you jump off a bridge like that is that you think that the land is going to kill you instantly. No, quite often it doesn't. Quite often you land, you break legs, you could even break your back. You could be in the water, broken back, and you're drowning now. So you're in incredible pain, and now you're drowning. You can't swim because you've now got a broken back. You can't do anything to get out of the situation. Now you're dying slowly. Oh. Why do that? It's incredible. Why the heck do that? It's mind-blowingly, oh, Jesus. So, but what it takes for someone to do that at that age. You've lived all those years, you've gone through all the stuff you've gone through. What's pushed you over the edge? You know, what the heck has happened? At 91 years of age, it's pushed you to do that. That's the thing with depression, is that there are different levels of it. Yeah, okay, this athlete, she's had pressure. But let's not pretend that she's, you know, the poster girl for mental health. Because she shouldn't be. That's my point about her and people like her. Because like, they're talking about the girl alongside her. They're talking about the woman who pulled out of the Australian Open because she didn't want to face the press. Which, to be honest, is quite understandable. Whether you win the game or lose the game, facing the press when they're asking stupid questions is quite understandable. But let's not link that with this. different situation, quite possibly different situation. Then they also linked the British girl, who I think was about 17 or something, who got through a bit, but then she had to withdraw because she had breathing problems. And they sort of linked that, suggesting that her breathing problems may have been a mental health issue. Yeah, that maybe she hyperventilated, or it's the pressure of the event that caused her. There was no suggestion of that in any way, shape or form, as far as I know. That's the point. You link this, you link that, you link that, you link that, you link that. That's no rubbish. Stop trying to create crap where it doesn't belong. There's enough real stories in mental health, enough real stuff going on that you can focus on, and you can actually look at real life stories of people that are really struggling. Certainly, situational is worth looking at. As well as looking at real depression, look at situational depression, because when you look at what the governments are doing right now, they're causing a lot of depression amongst people. So look at that. That's something we can do something about, right? No point looking at the stuff we can't do much about. The people that have serious mental health issues like depression or schizophrenia or anything like that, like psychiatric, not mental health necessarily, people that have that sort of stuff, they need God's help. There's nothing that the world can offer them. Not in any way, shape or form. Medication, that probably won't do anything. That could quite possibly make things worse. No point going down that avenue, is there, really? Hi, Cherry Juice. Yeah, bud. Look at them all, eh? Wonderful. Isn't that enough to lift depression? Really, isn't it? Beautiful. Gorgeous puppy, pups. Aye. Careful! Oi! You just crashed into the tree with your head, you nutter. Careful, okay? What is it? Oh yeah, they were saying today also that there's a new thing come out about with regards to football, with regards to heading the ball, and in training, heading the ball has to now be limited. Yeah, it's like, come on, look. Oh God. Yeah, look. I don't mean to be cold necessarily, but please remember the situations of the past, the fact that men of this sort of age, this sort of fitness would be the first ones going to war, and they had really crap helmets or hats on their head that didn't really protect them, and they used to get bullets in their brain, right? So having a little knock with a football, yeah, look, that may cause issues later on in life, but at least you've got a later on in life. So that's the first thing to consider. Secondly, if you're concerned about it, step away from the sport, honestly. Just step away from the sport. Yeah, if your head is too fragile, step away. A lot of people, part of the thing about heading the ball, is that a lot of people don't know how to head the ball. That's part of the problem. What I should teach is how to actually head the ball. Actually, having the ball hit your head is far worse. You heading the ball, you pushing your head towards the ball, meeting the ball. Right, get here! Get in now! Get in now! Here now! Here now! Come here! Come here! Now! Come on! That was a bit weird. Some of these dogs. Some of those are dogs. Thankfully, ambulance. Yeah. Okay. No idea what's going on there. Anyway. Oi! Get out of the way, idiots! Move! Come on! Fighting up right into me feet. I've enough of that with Covie and Locki. Don't you two start. Come on, nutters. Right, Grace. How you doing, bub? Good girl. Yeah, as I say, a lot of people, just basically they have the ball really hit them rather than... And even like at corners and stuff, they come up, the ball comes in, they sort of have the ball hit them in the sides of the head, or the ball hit them on the top of the head. Well, that's not a flipping use. Hold it, we're going to get trapped now. We're going to have to go up there. Because if they're coming behind us, we've got no way back. We have to go that way. We're being forced to now go that way. We can't go any other way now. Because there's no other way around. We have to go that way. Then we'll go that way. Okay. Yeah. Well, they could easily have gone over there. There's walkies over there. But no, they're coming down this way as well, so therefore we have to go that way. Otherwise, we're going to come into contact with them again. And with Amber, yeah. Micky, get here. Come here. Come on, Locks. Locki, Lucy, loose. So if we get over here, then by the time they come past, not an issue. Perhaps we can walk to the right after this bit and then get back to the path we're on anyway. This is not to have a massively long walk. I mean, quite likely I'll probably take it to the field we can go to. Get here! Amber! 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 Get in now! Amber! Amber! Get here! Amber! Here now! Get here! Here now! Get here! Chewie! Chewie! Here now! Chewie! Here, Chewie, now! Chewie, get here! Come on now! God, they've not exactly got control over their dogs, have they? Come on, you! You got them all? I have no idea. That's not good. Have we got them all? I don't know. Where's Teri? Where's Teri? Is Teri up there? Teri! Teri! There you are. Got you, babes. I see you. Good girl, Teri. Come on, babes. On you go. On you go, babes. Just wanted to check I've got them all. There you go. Got Teri. So that's not helpful. They're coming down in front of us. That's okay if they've got control of their animals. If they haven't, that really is not very useful at all. Because then we have that sort of issue. That's why I wasn't about telling Amber off too much, because it's like, well, not her fault really. You know? That dog has come right into the pack. You know, she's just basically telling that dog to sod off out the way of the pack. That's fine. Yeah, so there you go. I'm not going to tell her off too much for doing that. Now the problem is, where are we? We'll go up this way. Come here. 1 second, stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Probably 11, I'm not sure. And my koi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Got them all, okay. Stay with Dad. Oi, not too far. Not too far, Locki. Here. Locki Locks, stay with Dad. As I say, with regards to the mental health and all that sort of issue, with regards to the football, with regards to all that sort of stuff, we need to understand that we are, first of all, we are incredibly flipping lucky. We're incredibly lucky that this is what we're talking about. We're incredibly lucky when we're not living in the Middle East, not Middle East, what's that going to call? 1,000 years ago. Because most of us would be dead by now. You know, I'm 52 today, so 1,000 years ago, most people would be dead by 30, 40, definitely, yeah. No chance of living, yeah. So, yeah, think about that. You know, be glad that you're living now. That's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. You're living now, be glad about that. Think of that as a wonderful bloody thing, because it is. It's an amazing thing. You're living now. You're not living at a time where life was incredibly scarce, where people would have 10 kids because 8 would die in early age. We're not in that day. Be glad of that. Instead of constantly being pissy and moaning about, but in sport you could get hurt, then don't play it. Simple, just don't play it. You don't have to. When the fact you get huge amounts of money by doing it, go and count your cash. Instead of whinging and moaning about it, it's like all these players that get all moany, when they play badly and they get criticised by people. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, even the fact that you get more ones criticising you based upon your skin colour and saying that that's why you're lost because you're black. Look, you get idiots, ignore that crap. But the normal criticism about you should have passed, you should practice more in front of goal, that's fair. That's all part of it. When you do well, you enjoy all the plaudits, don't you? Oh, you love all that when you do well. And the awards you get, you enjoy that, don't you? You think that's fantastic. Yeah, the pay you get, you enjoy that, yeah? Okay, all the other stuff you get, that's the opposite, right? That's all that is, that's the opposite. Swings and roundabouts sort of thing, you know? You enjoy the nice stuff, yeah. But the point of it is you're on a journey. And even being a football player is still a journey. And on that journey, you're going to get good times and bad times. Yeah? Not Messi. Messi gets praise pretty much all the time. The only time he doesn't really get praise is when he's often played for his country, because he's never really played with the same sort of degree of form for his country as he has for his club, partly because he's not had the sort of quality of players around him to help him to do that. So he's taken a lot of crap because of that. Now, okay. But again, the fact that he's been praised and praised and praised and praised and praised basically since he was 12 years old. Having the occasional bit of, not so great criticism, negative stuff, put up with it. If you can't handle it, don't read it. Simple. Simple as that. If you can't handle it, don't read it. Don't be on Twitter. Don't be on stuff like that. You don't have to be. Of course you don't have to be. You choose to be. First of all, you choose to be a footballer. Secondly, you choose to be on these sites. Thirdly, you choose to focus on all the negative stuff. Okay? As if you're going to correct these people. The only way to correct them is to go out and play fantastically each week. Now, can you do that? If so, you won't get much in the way of negative comments. You're still going to get some because there are idiots out there. Not much you can do about that, is there, really? Yeah? That's it. Yeah. There's more noise up there now. That was the same people, they would have gone past us that way. They're over there somewhere now. They're going this way now, so there's probably more people. In fact, it's dry now. Right, Locki, pick it up now. Pick it up, Locks, no fighting. It's good to get them out. I mean, I didn't think I'd be able to get them out today. I looked at the forecast and it was raining all day. Same as tomorrow. It's just rain all day. So, right, okay. It's going to be quite difficult to get them out, I suppose. But it's actually, from about 3 or 4 o'clock, it's been dry. The rain stopped. We had some very, very heavy rain, so the buckets are completely full. They were overflowing this morning. When I got up this morning, buckets overflowing with water, both of them. So it's fantastic. They're full now again, and so they're full now until, they won't need to be filled up again until basically we get into autumn. So, and my Carly, a beautiful girl, a baby, a graceful, that's a graceful bubba. Such beautiful eyes, Gracie. There's your bub, eh? Grace, you've got such beautiful eyes, ain't you, Grace? Look at that. Oh, gorgeous Kelly. Gorgeous Gracie. Locki, no. Calm down. Terrific Teri. Hello, Teri Ball. How you doing, Bubba girl? You want to swim up? Jacob, how you doing? How you doing, little Jakes? I went to Tesco's, and because it's birthday, normally we have cake, so it's not right, okay. I've got some Mr. Kipling cakes, but actually they had a deal on Tesco's, well, it's something reduced, where they had these like Victoria Sponge little cakes. Not little cakes, but sort of certainly one person has 3 bites out of it. Yeah. That's it, a 3-bite cake basically. But there's 2 in the box, and they're reduced to 98p. And I'm thinking, I wonder how many boxes they've got. So I thought, well, let's get 5 because there's 10 of us. But well, there is actually 2 babies as well. So if I cut one in half, that leaves 1 spare basically. But that means that the babies can have half of 1 each as well, which would be cool. They'll probably enjoy that. They'd never had birthday cake before, so it's only right they should have some birthday cake in it. Yeah? Every birthday we have cake. That's the deal. That's the deal. Now they would have had birthday 6 days ago. It was my Christian birthday. They would have had a bit of birthday cake then. Weird noises. Birdies getting some. That birdie's getting closer. Oh, the one above. That one up there. That's a noisy one. There you go. Okay. Right. Well, it's not out of all the noise, it's pleasant enough noise. That's what I was hearing. Wonder what the noise was. It's a birdie. So, yeah, I mean, as I said, with regards to mental health, I'll go back to that a second. Yeah, I'd say certainly situational mental health is what they need to be looking at, because that's something we can do something about, as I said before. And I think poster child right now, if you're talking about right now, right at this moment in time, poster child for mental health right now will have to be someone who has lost relatives to COVID, who basically the family's been ruined by COVID, by the government's decision making. You two stop fighting, you want to just whacked into a tree again, you donuts. So Mollie, not you, Bubba. You take your sticky. Yeah, where, you know, mum or dad have lost their job and that's really, really struggling now because of the government's policies. That's what we need right now. That's what we need to see. What we need is for the news networks to be looking at that sort of thing, because that's something we can get behind, that's something we can look at and we can improve, and we can say, what can we do about that? Because it's situational, can we change their situation? If we can change their situation, we deal with that depression, don't we? You know, let's look at things that we can actually make better rather than things that we as a society really can't do anything about. How on earth are you going to deal with a huge mental health crisis, apart from to deal with the situational mental health issues? Right, you two. Covie, enough. Stop fighting. Stop trying to fight with Jacob as well. Still counts as fighting, whether you're fighting with your sister or Jacob. Who's going to be your boyfriend? Sister or boyfriend, doesn't matter. They're fighting. He's a clever little one, he is, Jacob. And when I took Micky, Lucy, Chewie and Covie up to the car first, I put Covie in the car, I put the other 3 in the back, and I noticed, I thought Covie got out. It wasn't Covie, it was Jacob. He had climbed over the barrier, that's supposed to keep him in the stony area. He does that a lot anyway. But he climbed over there, he came up the steps, ran across the garden to where the car was, and it's like, what the heck are you doing here? A few of the times I've taken the dogs up and he's been waiting down by the gate, but this time he actually thought, I'm going to follow them. I know where they're going, so I'll just follow them. So I'm going to have to make sure the gate is closed now. Yeah, so yeah. I didn't close the gate. Well, it's the first time he's done that, so now he's done it once, I'm going to have to learn from that and say, right. Well, as I say, look, with situational depression, there are things that we can do about our situation. There are things that we can learn about how we react to things that can help us to deal with a certain degree of the depression that we have. If it's situational, the way that we react to issues can help us to deal with a lot of that stuff. But certainly, someone who's incredibly wealthy, someone who's got a lot of power with regards to sport, having that person being the poster person for mental health, yeah, that person had every single resource available to her to deal with her issues beforehand. For some reason, she didn't. Whether it's because she can't or they can't help her, I don't know. But she could have announced this a long time before the Olympics and stepped down a long time before, had all this gone beforehand, but she wanted, and her people wanted to make this an issue. Oi! Would you stop eating rubbish? Come here, little lady. Come here, pups. So anyway, we're coming towards the end of this now. So, yeah. Well, I think right now certainly it's the case that there aren't really wise heads, and the problem with the media is if they get a gentle push, by the media people in charge of gymnasts like this, they just go on with it because they really have no clue at all what's going on. And so, they get a little nudge in this direction, they follow it. And the problem is they all follow it, they're all basically, it's like the dog's got a new bone, basically. That's what's going on right now. All this is, it's a story they can talk about and pretend that they know something about, which they don't. I mean, real depression, real mental health issues, the real stuff, that's spiritual. It's not something that the world can deal with in any way, shape or form. That's spiritual stuff. God has to deal with it. So even people that have got the college, they don't understand it at all. I'm not going to tell you that I understand it, because I don't. It's not my area of understanding as a Christian. But it's in the area of spiritual warfare. That's all I can tell you, because that's all I know really. I don't know much more about it than that. Well, I've said before, what I do know, there's oppressive and possessive spirits. And an oppressive spirit is basically depression. Because oppressive means pushing you down. Depression means pushing you down. So basically, that's pretty much it. Right, so there you go. You take care, God bless. I will speak to you soon. Bye bye.